Well, the T-Birds are ready to embark on another season of hockey here at the Accesso Showwear Center, coming off, again, a terrific second half last season, a strong first-round series in the playoffs against Everett. So it's certainly something to build off and something looking to build off, in particular, his playoff run last year when he had 4 goals in those 6 playoff games against Everett. Is our guest, Simon Lovsin. Simon, this is going to be your second full season with Seattle, but it seems like you've been here a little bit longer than that. How excited are you for another season in the Western Hockey League as a member of the Seattle Thunderbirds?
So excited. I mean, we're all excited to be back, but for me specifically, I've been here a little while longer than everybody else now, but it's going to be a lot of fun this year.
Yeah, we talked about a lot last year about how young this team was. And the odd thing is, it's still going to be a fairly, even by Western Hockey League standards, young team again this year. There's the 3 20-year-olds. One of them is going to be a new 20-year-old, but we have Cumbie and we have Costerdun. But we only have a couple of 19-year-olds, Hyde Davidson and you. So you are, in fact, a veteran on this team because everybody else is 18 and younger. So do you feel like a veteran on this young team?
Yeah, I mean, we do have a young team. We've had a young team for the last few years here. But I mean, that's not a reason to count us out this year. We've all kind of been through a lot with what happened last year and kind of coming around in the second half there.
And when I say young, it's all relative. So last year, the first half was a slow first half, but coming out of the Christmas break, the team took off. I think they were 18-8-1 over the last 27 games of the season, raced into a playoff spot as a result of that. What was different for you the second half of the season?
I mean, I think it was prime time. I think we all kind of realized what we had to do and the kind of position we were in coming out of the break. But it was kind of just the want to kind of make it a playoffs. Like we came up short my first year, and we didn't want that to happen again. I specifically didn't want that to happen again. I think I was ready for the postseason and kind of wanted to show my stuff, and I was excited for it.
First full season with Seattle, you had 16 goals. I know you were frustrated with the production, particularly the first half of last year. You ended up with 10 goals in the regular season, but it's something that you can do. But you're an all-around player, terrific penalty killer. Let's look at one of your regular season goals here. You can talk about this one. I think this is against the Victoria Royals. This is you stealing a puck and scoring on a wraparound. So kind of talk about, as we cue this up, this goal that you scored last year.
Yeah, I mean, if I remember this one, we were on the penalty kill. Cootsie made a dump in, and makes our PK coach is always telling us that if there's a chance, a 50-50 puck to kind of pressure, and I saw an opportunity. I stripped the goalie and kind of wrapped it around.
You know, I had a chance earlier, a couple of weeks ago, to talk to Ashton Cumbie about being drafted into the NHL, and I showed a highlight of his first ever Western Hockey League goal. Kind of, joking, maybe that's the goal that got him drafted, but you set that up. Does he owe you dinner for that?
No, we've got a history between us, so we're going back and forth a few times here. But he was in the right spot, and I just happened to be on the ice, give him a good pass, and he scored that one all on his own. That's all.
Now, as I said, you did go off for 4 goals in that playoff series against Everett in just 6 games, 4 playoff goals. That was your first taste of Western Hockey League playoff action. And I'm going to bring up one of those goals you scored against Everett. What kind of clicked for you in the playoffs as far as your goal production that maybe wasn't going in the regular season as we look at this goal?
I mean, I think it's just kind of the moment we're all in. Like, we got big crowds here in the show and in playoffs, and I feel like I'm a player that can kind of perform in those situations, and we wanted that. The whole team wanted it, but I really wanted it to be to keep playing with that group of guys, and what I needed to do was score, and that's what I had to do.
As we said, that was 1 of 4. We'll take a look at another kind of an overhead look at one of your other goals against Everett in the playoffs here, if you can recall that particular goal again on home ice.
I think that might have been one of my favorite ones of the playoffs for sure. We had a good start of the game there, and Mazur made an unreal pass off the end wall, and I just kind of beat him low glove right off the wall there, and got a little bit of scrum after that, but it was good. It's a good goal. It's a fun goal.
So how do you, and let's say how does the team build off of the second half of last season? And even though you lost that series to Everett, you took them to 6. Essentially, when you look at the double overtime, there was another overtime in that series. It was almost like a 7-game series against the top-seeded team. How do you build off that coming into this new season?
I think we just got to play like we did in the playoffs all season. I mean, it was kind of a do or die games, and when we're put like with our backs against the wall and we're playing that physical and that abrasive and that kind of we're supposed to be here, and we're not letting anyone push us around this year. I think it's just playing playoff hockey throughout the regular season.
There's a core group of players, the 2007s. I think that 18-year-old group, there's like 8 guys in that core group. And, the last time the T-Birds got to the championship series, they had a core group they built around. And you're kind of outside that core group as a year older, but you came into the league with a lot of those guys, though. So you're essentially part of that group as well that's trying to build back to what the team did in 2022 and 2023.
Yeah, I mean, being a year older, I guess I'm a little outside of that core group, but I mean, I know the guys kind of, we're all pretty tight knit here. We're not really big on an age or how many games or how many years you've been in the league. But I would say that we're all pretty close and have the ability to kind of go far with that core. And obviously Hyde and I we're a little bit older than those guys, but we're all pretty close.
As you come into as I said, your second full season, but as we mentioned, you were around a little bit for the championship run in 2023 as a 15-year-old, and you had some games as a 16-year-old as well. What have you learned about getting prepared for each season that maybe you do differently now than you did 2 seasons ago?
You start the season with the home opener this year. We're just kind of going in with level heads. Can't get too high, can't get too low. I mean, I think the biggest thing is just trusting that the process will work in the game and not let kind of the outside noise of what happened last year or even just the start of this season kind of get to it. You just got to play the game.
Does your role change at all or expand? Obviously, in the Western Hockey League, players come in, they graduate out. Those are younger players, become older players. How's your role going to expand this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to expand. We got obviously another ground of rookies to kind of lead into the season here. Just kind of the leadership role and on the ice, kind of scoring a couple more goals this year, I'm hoping. But really kind of just making sure everyone kind of stays on the path, as we say. Make sure they become not just great like players, but also just like people outside the rink. I think that's really big for us. But all around, you just kind of you add more to your plate each year, and I think I'll take on a little bit bigger of a chunk this year for sure.
You did get a chance to go to an NHL camp with Anaheim last year. Didn't come through for you this year, but this is a franchise here at the Thunderbirds. We've seen players at age 19 and 20 either get drafted or signed. That is still your goal, is to have that happen for you.
Absolutely. I mean, the whole goal of playing in this league is to get drafted and play in the NHL. However that happens, I just got to play my game. I mean, I play a very physical and smart game of hockey. So I think if I keep doing that and put up a couple more points, I think I'll put myself in a pretty good position.
I know we always talk about team goals first. We mentioned how you had 16 goals as a rookie, 10 last year, 4 in the playoffs. What are you thinking for yourself this season and your third full year?
For myself, I'm hoping for 25. 25 goals this year, what I think would be a good spot. Add a couple assists, apples in there along the way. But I mean, if the team needs me to do something else, I'll do something else. But whatever gets us into the playoffs and kind of later on into the postseason, I'm happy to do.
You know, last year before the season began, I asked Nathan Pilling, did he have a 35 or 30 goal season? And he ended up with 34. So he hit his goal. You got to have that confidence, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Confidence is big here. Pills was special. He had a way of tickling the twine a lot. But if I say 25, might as well hit 30 if he's going 4 more than he said last year. So I'll one up him on that.
I know the biggest goal is to return to the playoffs and, maybe push past that first round. That's the team goal. Always the team goal is to win a championship. And you got to take that first step. And that's coming up here in the regular season.
Yeah. I mean, that's the goal. We've kind of been chasing it the last 3 years. We've came up short both years, but I think this year we've got a good group, got a good young guy, got a couple good old guys, and we want it. We want it this year for sure.
Well, I appreciate you joining us as we embark on a new season of T-Birds hockey, and looking forward to you meeting those team and individual goals throughout the course of the campaign. And we're looking forward to see this team back in the playoffs. Simon, thanks for spending some time with us.
Yeah, anytime, Connor. No worries.
Simon Lovsin, we look forward to seeing all of you at the Shower Center here in the new year.